members of government, distinguished stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the Ambazonian community at home and abroad. We have come a long way since 2017 in our unwavering pursuit of our rights as free citizens of the restored Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. In 2017, our brave comrades took a momentous step by proclaiming the restoration of our independence. It's crucial to clarify that in 2017, we did not declare independence. Rather, we affirmed the restoration of our independence, which had been rightfully granted to us by the United Nations in 1961. Our foundation is rooted in international law on self-determination, supported by jurisprudence from Abuja to Banjul, substantiated by United Nations records, validated by historical facts, and guided by the spirit of our ancestors. However, it's imperative to address a significant misstep made during the 2017 proclamation. The creators of our declaration primarily focused on establishing new institutions to represent our country, which we had lost to French Cameroon through annexation. This approach has led some international bodies to describe Ambazonia today as a fictitious or imaginary entity, seemingly carved out from the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Had we fully restored the government that was annexed and dissolved by French Cameroon, such characterization would have been unreasonable. Instead of creating new structures devoid of historical context, we should have followed the path that Foncha would have taken if he were here with us today, by simply restoring what was fraudulently taken away from him by Cameroon. Let's take a moment to remember where we were and what we had in 1961 in Pumba. Number one, we had the government of the Southern Cameroon. Number two, we had the others in council, serving as our constitution. Number three, we had the House of Assembly and House of Chiefs. Four, we had a Prime Minister of the government of Southern Cameroon, Dr. John Guponcha, who was supposed to become president of the Southern Cameroon after independence on the 1st of October 1961, if it was correctly done. We also had various government departments such as Energy, PWD, Education, Agriculture, Police, and more. Notably, there was no entity called the Interim Government of Southern Cameroon. There was no entity called Restoration Council, and no interim constitution of Southern Cameroon. Therefore, the question arises, what did we restore? In reality, we created new structures and adorned them with the label of restoration, rather than reclaiming what was unjustly taken from us. Our actions in 2017 reflected a timid approach when we should have solidified our case with unassailable legality and legitimacy by restoring what was illegally annexed and dissolved. So we must now decide whether to affirm the integrity of our country and institution by reverting to our original estate or continue with the fabrication. Our comrades in 2017 chose the latter, but we must now take a more resolute stance, aligning our actions with the context of our argument of our restored independence. To those who agree with the view that the proclamation of our restoration is irreversible, it makes sense that we should fully reinstate the government of Southern Cameroon, also known as the government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, now rather than later. We should call ourselves the restored government of the Southern Cameroon in exile, because the term interim government only makes sense if we abandoned our argument of restoration before recognition and go for recognition before restoration. Our logic dictates that those who still perceive our nation as fictitious may continue with their fictitious interim government, while those who acknowledge our sovereignty and the reclaiming of our country should rally behind the full restoration of the government of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia now. We do not need agreement with La Republique to restore what they stole from us. Neither do we need recognition first from anybody before we take back fully what was taken away from us. And the word interim denotes temporality, not permanent, and suggests keeping our fingers crossed and that anything can replace it. That's what interim means. We reject the notion that what we should have at this time as the authority over Southern Cameroon should only be interim. Our restoration is not interim. The government of Dr. Ford, which was restored in 2017, was not interim and cannot be called interim today. Yes, our operations may be described as interim, but our government as an institution is not interim. It is the same one that was illegally dissolved. When we went to the Fumban conference, we met the Republic of Cameroon as two equals in every aspect. We were two states of equal status. They had a head of state, we had a head of state. They had a head of government, they had a government, we had a government. They had a House of Assembly, we had a House of Assembly. Now, 62 years later, the Republic of Cameroon still retains its government, while we give ourselves an all-invented interim government, denying what we had. To reaffirm equality, therefore, we must boldly restore our government now, which was unlawfully dissolved by the Republic of Cameroon. Only then will the equation be the government of Southern Cameroon versus the government of French Cameroon. Those who criticize us for fully restoring the government of Southern Cameroon at this time likely refuse to see the full picture, or may sympathize with arguments that diminish our rightful status as two equals. Such individuals may be secretly wishing for a one Cameroon outcome. I call on all stakeholders gathered here today to support our full restoration initiative and adopt our name, the government of the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. This proclamation, in addition to its historical and legal validity, will serve as the unifying emblem for all the people of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. While so-called interim governments may continue in their disorder, there will only be one government that stands as the unequivocal authority, thereby eliminating all counterfeits and reaffirming our unity as a people. Let us undertake this endeavor and send a strong message to Yaoundé and its allies that just as in 1961, where two governments negotiated the failed union, any future negotiation will involve two nations and two governments, not just one government or one and a half government. This stance aligns with the spirit and letter of the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 1608 and reinforces the accurate interpretation of two states of equal status. I am pleased to also report that we have made significant progress in incorporating the government of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. We are fully or formally incorporated in Washington, D.C., and have obtained trademark protection for our emblems and our corporate name. Furthermore, our present and future websites are now protected by the corporate and trademark laws of the United States of America. The technical team has arranged that I, as the Chief Executive Officer of our government, be given the master access to all our websites for added security and protection. This measure is not authoritarian, but essential for safeguarding our intellectual property and ensuring our resilience against potential threats. We have learned valuable lessons from recent events, particularly the coup plotter, emphasizing the need for greater precaution. Our websites include www.statehousebuoy.org, aidforcitizens.org, Amba, abcamba.org, ambazoniagovernment.org, and they are all under our protection. Turning to the matter of funding the federal government, federal draft played a pivotal role in financing our government this year, as aid was still gaining momentum. I commend the DFRM for their successful draft campaign this year. However, the central government required more than the draft alone to function effectively. I extend my appreciation to the National Treasury and my office for the diligent efforts in mobilizing additional funds to sustain our government. We have engaged in various activities such as lobbying, diplomacy, international conferences, and legal proceedings, which have necessitated extra financial resources. Without these additional funds, we will not have accomplished two-thirds of what we have done this year in terms of community mobilization, communication, diplomacy, and litigation. I want to express my sincere appreciation to all those of us who have made extra sacrifices to support our various strategic initiatives. Your contributions have been instrumental in advancing our cause. Whether you drafted for the federal government and paid in full, drafted for your county, LG, and paid in full, consistently contributed to aid, subscribed to ABC Patron or Club, or generously supported HSS for our refugees and prisoners, you are the steadfast pillars of our struggle. As we approach the end of this year, we will gauge the depth of commitment of every one of us towards our government, not solely by our names, but by the magnitude of our sacrificial contributions to propel our struggle forward. It's essential to understand that our giving is not merely an obligation. It is a call to support our beloved nation and people. We give and participate to inspire one another. I implore you to give to the federal government sacrificially if you wish to strengthen our resolve to continue. While it is within our rights to withhold our support, we must consider the consequences of such a decision. Those of us entrusted with managing and disbursing funds should see an example or should set an example by contributing in full most of the time. By being the first to draft and pay in full, we inspire confidence in a community of sacrificial donors. I want to clarify that the figures you are going to receive here today are general estimates of requisitions that I have personally approved or authorized from the federal coffers. In our government, I and the Vice President have the sole authority for now of approving requisitions at the central government, while the National Treasury is tasked with disbursing those funds. Hold me accountable for approval, or hold us accountable for approval, and hold them accountable for disbursement. I call upon all county and LGA treasurers and their respective executive chairs to attend a meeting that has been scheduled by the National Treasury at my behest in the coming days for a detailed reconciliation of our draft numbers. This reconciliation is essential as we prepare to conclude our financial year in December 31st. I have also requested an updated list of all those who drafted and paid both the federal and county levels following that meeting. Furthermore, I am excited to announce a National Day of Award scheduled for December 30th, 2023. In Ambazonia, we aim to establish a meritocracy where we encourage and celebrate excellence and sacrifice. This year, I'm proposing the 30th of December as our National Day of Merit, where we will honor individuals who have what's happening? No, I'm in a meeting. Am I connected? Hello?
Yes, you are, Mr. President.
Yes, you are, Mr. President.
Okay. So, this year, I am proposing the 30th of December as our National Day of Merit, where we will honor individuals who have distinguished themselves in pursuit of our collective good. We will present medals in various categories, including draft contribution, extra financial and material support, media, advocacy, our ARS on the ground, the humanitarian of the year, and more. I encourage all counties and LGAs and government departments to nominate deserving names to the selection committee for the prestigious recognition. I hope to see many of you on that honor list, driven by your love for Ambazonia. And let me announce the last town hall of the year. I would like to extend an invitation to all government officials who can attend in person to join us in Washington, D.C. this Thursday, the 7th of December. On this historical day, we will witness the signing of our revised constitution and the proclamation of the restoration of the government of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia into law. While we will facilitate participation through Zoom, the event will also be streamed live on ABC television. I extend a special invitation to all government officials and county and LGA executives in DC, Maryland, and Virginia area to endeavor to attend in person. During this town hall event, I will outline the way forward after the full symbolic restoration of our government, the government of Southern Cameroon. Thank you all for your unwavering commitment and support. Viva our restored government. Viva the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Thank you. God bless.